Welcome to the Star Podcast.
Whoa. Star Podcast.
Welcome to the Star Podcast, hosted by Natt. Each week, we share tips and stories from safety, trucking, and recruitment, and everything in between. Listen now.
Welcome back to another episode. Today we sit down with Greg, who is a safety trainer in our Sault Ste. Marie location. And Greg shares a really interesting workplace story that he experienced himself, where he experienced a workplace injury, a very extreme workplace injury. It was shocking, actually, and how he overcame that, and now his passion for safety. So he gets into some of his favorite training courses that he teaches, some safety tips, and it is definitely a must listen. So listen now.
So I was just hoping, I wanted to welcome you to the podcast. I think it'll be great to sit down. Matthew recommended you because you're located in the Sault Ste. Marie area, correct?
Correct.
Excellent. Yeah, so I was just
Born and
hoping to
raised.
get, excellent. So I was hoping to get started. You could share a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are today.
I'm actually an air conditioning and refrigeration mechanic with a gas fitter license at the level G1, the high. And I had a career-ending injury in 2010 that prevented me from being in the work truck, from then moving forward. So I had always had a passion for training, and I always had a passion for health and safety. I decided to get into the training, and after I had an injury, I started working with Sault College. I got affiliated with Sault College, and I built the gas lab so they could offer fuel certificate courses. So I did that, and I decided it was getting too much with all these 3 different jobs. So I decided to leave that one on the wayside and continue on. So it's nice to have an opportunity to continue the training. I kind of semi-retired last year, even though I was working for a company. I was doing training and fuel and gas coordinator type of thing. So I decided it was getting a little bit much on my body. So I saw the opportunity with Natt. They're looking for independent contractors, and I have my own company already established doing fuel certificate courses. So I just figured it would be good to still to stay in touch with passing on the message of safety and things like that, because it's so important. I try to pass on the message. I want to develop a better culture with workers themselves. Companies, they're doing their part by allowing the training, providing the arrangement of training. Right. And it's individuals that need to actually accept the training for what it is, right? It's not as if they're going to be an expert at the end of the training sessions. It's just to pass on that message. The also important message of, we have to do what we're supposed to do to be safe. So the thing is, it was a good opportunity. So, and I still get to stay in touch because I see a lot of tradespeople and things like that, that I have a personal relationship with. And of course, that always enhances the class when you can connect with a few of the participants. So,
absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure your background as a tradesperson helps you to share stories within your training, like bringing real life experience to the class, right?
100%, especially the working at heights, because I spent like my HVAC career in like commercial industrial. So I spent many years climbing ladders and using fall protection, and I didn't always do what I was supposed to do. And then, in 2001, I fell 18 feet off the side of a building and woke up in the back of an ambulance because I was climbing a ship ladder on a building. And I was carrying my tool pouch over one shoulder and the motor that I was going to be replacing with the other. And I missed the top rung, and I ended up waking up in the back of an ambulance type of thing. It crippled me. It left me with permanent injuries. And yes, I still continued on. That wasn't the career-ending injury, by the way. But the thing is, I want people the root cause of my accident was because I wasn't maintaining 3-point contact. It's something I knew. I had the tools. I had the container to rope up equipment. But in that moment, I chose not to use it. And gosh darn it, it almost cost me my life. And it took time away from like my personal life as well, because my children were young at that time. So it's like, don't do what Greg does. I know we do it all the time. You do it all the time or occasionally, but it's got to stop. We got to stop being part of the data, and we got to become part of the solution, because the whole purpose of this training is to reduce accidents, not ignore them. No, we're supposed to do something and then not do it. Working at heights and gas fuel certificate training is my all of it's my passion, but I have deep ties with those two.
Yeah, I imagine that would be so scary. Wow. Yeah, well, I'm glad that you're okay, and I'm glad now that you can use that story to help share with other people and share, I know why you need to be careful. Do you think it had anything to do, like, were you experienced on the job? Like, do you feel like because you knew what you were doing, you kind of just ignored the safety because you knew what job needed to be done? Or do you think that had anything to do with it?
That's a good question. And yes, I was experienced. I was already 20 plus years in the trade and climbing ladders. I knew what I was supposed to do. I had the stuff to do it safely. And then this was like a typical Friday afternoon service call, right? I set my ladder up. I went, I determined I needed to get it. The motor was gone, or not gone, but broke. So I went and got a new one. And instead of putting the motor and my tools in the bucket that I had in my work truck, right, I just decided in that moment, the lack of judgment to doing the right thing. It's not as if I did it to take a chance. Right. I just did it. And it's not something that I did regularly either. It was just that bad decision in that moment that actually was a crippler, because I couldn't move my right arm for like almost 6 months.
Wow.
Right? And even now, I have limitations with it. So it was a Friday afternoon problem, right? With that, Greg did not make the right decision in that moment to do things that I had the tools to prevent this from happening. So it was just like, nobody expects it to happen. That's why accidents are unplanned events. We don't plan on waking up in the back of an ambulance and not knowing when your birthday is or how old you were. Oh, if they didn't remember anything from the training, they remember that, holy cow, just a simple thing like not maintaining 3-point contact. It prevented me from changing diapers on my children for 4 months, adjusting the volume on the radio in my truck with my right arm because I couldn't move my right arm. It was the rehabilitation, and not to mention the effect that had on everybody else as well. It wasn't just Greg that got hurt. It was like the wife at the time, my kids, my family, my boss at the time. I had training. I had fall protection training back in the day. I knew better. So the thing is, it's a ripple effect when these accidents happen. My goal, if I could prevent one person from having something that happened to me happen to them, then I'll be happy. I'll be happy with more than that. But you know what? I want to change one person's mind.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully someone listening to this and people that are taking your training. So you talked a bit about working at heights. So what is the training that you do for Natt Safety? It's the working at heights?
Yes, I do working at heights training, transportation of dangerous goods, forklift, overhead crane, basic rigging. And I'm presently, I think later on today, I have a train the trainer for confined space attendant and emergency attendant.
Good.
So these are all things that are participated in as a worker.
Yes.
Right? And it's things that I'm familiar with. And it's just another avenue where Greg has an opportunity to actually hopefully prevent something, give people encouragement. My way of trying to change culture, one student at a time, right? Absolutely. That's all we can do is try. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I didn't realize you trained so much. So, and it's all in the Sault Ste. Marie area and surrounding area. Yeah.
When I do industrial maintenance technician through my company as well, and I actually travel to Larignal, Ontario, with it's about an hour and a half the other side of Ottawa. It's about 11-hour trip for me to get there.
Yes.
Yeah. So I go there twice a year to do 2 sessions of training down there. So.
Oh, wow. Very interesting. So which of the courses that you train is your, I don't know if you have a favorite. You sound like you're very passionate about the Working at Heights, but is there a course that's more your specialty?
Working at Heights ranks right up there amongst the top, and as well as fuel certificate training, whether it's the entry level, whether it's the gas fitter level 3, 2, or 1, or the specialized fuel certificate for industry called the IMT course. I'm very passionate about fuel and gas because that's what I did as in air conditioning and refrigeration. We fix heating units too, and I got a gas license as well.
Yes.
So many things happen. So my passion, the most passionate, fuel certificate training and Working at Heights training.
Nice. If you could share one of your top safety tips that you feel is important to share, what would that be? Do you have anything that you like to make sure that people take away when you're training?
Yeah, I always start with trying to give them confidence and like reinforcing the fact that, you're in training, but this isn't going to make you an expert. Right? This is to give you awareness of the safety requirements surrounding it. And also another thing, because I always like to add humor and keep my course light by humor and personal things. I said, I'll share these experiences, negative experiences that I had. I just say, I want you to do what Greg says here. Don't do what Greg did back then. Because Greg's a different person now, and I'm lucky to be here. Right? Whereas others don't walk away from less of an incident. So
if anyone listening to this has a question, maybe they have a question about HVAC careers, or they have a question about fuel or Working at Heights, where can people reach out and speak with you? Are you on LinkedIn, or is it email the best way, or how can they reach you?
I'm on LinkedIn. I have a LinkedIn profile as well, and my email address or my cell number. If you ever have any questions, right, don't be shy to reach out. And occasionally I do get people reaching out, which is very nice.
I'll put all the links. I'll put your email and the link to your LinkedIn in the show notes. So anyone listening on any podcast player can go and click that if they want to reach out to you. So I just wanted to thank you so much. I think it's an important reminder. Great that you're okay. But as you said, you had injuries and it lasted and it spread to your family and things like that. So I'm glad that you're okay. But it's a good reminder for everyone to be safe and to sit and learn in the trainings that you're giving and to take that into the workplace. Absolutely. So thanks so much for sharing all these valuable stories.
You're very welcome. And also too, with the participants, the people taking the training, you'll get more out of it if you're participating during the training than you will be just listening, right?
That's right.
But it's going to develop questions. So ask the questions, bring this all out, because the more we can talk about it, the quicker this thing will spread, and hopefully the data will start reducing like as anticipated, and everybody goes home at the end of the day with all their fingers and toes and mobility.
And that's what we want.
Don't do what Greg did.
Well, thank you. And thank you for sharing that story. I think sometimes it's scary to share personal stories when it's something that, like, I'm using air quotes, that we did wrong. But I think it's good to hear because you experienced it and now you're trying to work in a safe way and share that with everyone else. So yeah, it's very important. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Leslie. Have a great day.
Yes, you as well.
Wow. Star Podcast.